Hello, this is another tutorial. I made this character the other day in a speed modeling video and he's ready to go. He's all rigged up and all his bones have been weighted to the mesh. So all I want to show you here is me creating another rig based on the IK chains and then animating them via those, and the IK chains will all be controlled by shapes that are linked to the IK. So let me just hide the mesh for a second and then you'll see the bones there. Okay, so let's make some IK. Now what you want to do is choose the base bone. You can see this guy is a bit of he's not human, he's a humanoid, but he's got these flexible arms and kind of tentacle like eyes. So he's got a custom rig, it's not your standard biped rig, and the IK has to be done here. So what you do is just choose the higher bone. Just ignore why that's red, it's all to do with the Bones Pro. That was the last bone selected. So I've selected this bone up here and I choose IK solver, and I can do a high solver here and just choose the end nub. And what that will do is it will create a kind of link that bends everything to the IK. And it acts pretty real, as real as I need it to act. Okay, I do the same on this side. Choose the top bone, high solver, and choose the low bone. Sorry, I've got Skype on. Just kind of chatting to people as I do this, pausing the video here and there. Okay, so here I'm moving I'm not actually moving the bone itself. It's more the IK is connected there. So it'll be the IK that I'm manipulating later. So again, choose this head bone. Let's get into perspective here. High solver and down to the spine. Hopefully when I move the head. Now I'm going to undo that because this bottom bone doesn't do anything, it's just the root bone. So I'm going to choose the head bone again, animation, high solver, and down to this part. I don't really need a solver for this piece, to be honest. You know, I could animate it a different way. So in cases like this, especially for the spine, you want to control these bones a different way. Okay, I've just turned off Skype there so that I can carry on with this without interruption. Right. So for the spine we don't need any IK chains. We'll create some for this little chain here. So that's the end nub. Sorry, not really the end nub, it's more of the first. Either way, you want to connect the last part in the limbs up to the first in this case. I'm pretty sure. So the animation IK solvers, height solver. No, that's not it. You choose this one. It's like the thigh bone compared to the toe bones. You would choose the thigh bone if it was the thigh. And it's a good rule of thumb to remember it that way. So the thigh bone connected, high solver down to the toe bone, and then when you move the toe bone, when I move this bone, for some reason it's not working. It's just plain silly. But we should be getting something from this. I can see what's happened. I've put I've connected something wrongly. Let me just check that. Right, that's fine there. That's still got a little link in there. It says it's linked, but it's not acting right. High solver into this. There we go. Choose this one, animation, high solver, into this. Okay. So now these end bones here, this bone and this bone, they've been linked. They've been linked to this head bone, like so. So it just means when the head bone moves, the tentacles move with it. But you can see here the IK is staying where it is. So I need to link the IK as well. I'll link the IK to the head bone. Okay, so everything moves now with the head bone. The IK can be affected on its own. When I rotate the head bone, it stays. Okay. And the same idea, these kind of clavicles, which are really the upper arm in this creature, they've been connected to this upper spine. So when I rotate that, it must be this part. Yeah. But again, you can see the IK is staying where it is. So I'll link the IK. Oops. Link the IK to the bone that moves the arms. This way, when I rotate this part, the IK moves with it. Now, it's really difficult for me to grab the IK. It's a little plus sign there. As you can see, you can increase the size of it, I'm sure, but we'll just make controllers for it that you can pick quite easily. Okay, so let's make some shapes. Let's create a circle here. What I'll do is I'll use the align tool. Oops, the align tool, and align it to one of the bones there. Position, yes, fine, and orientation. You can check those as well. Scale it down. Let's move it. You can actually align it to the IK. Like that. Make a copy and align that to the IK on the other hand. Okay, now we link the IK. We originally linked the IK to one of the bones there. I'll get everything upside down here. Right, so we originally linked the IK to this, but we're going to link it to this now, so it's just going to overwrite when it was linked to that. If I try and rotate this now, this hand still moves because the IK is linked to it, but this one doesn't. It's tied to the new shape. So to keep that working, I'd have to tie the shape to this bone. Let's do the same this side. Let's link the IK to the shape, and then link the shape to this bone. So it's all about these controllers being controlled by these shapes. Okay, rotating doesn't do anything but moving it still. So it's basically like kind of parenting. So the IK is parented to this shape, and the shape's parented to this bone. So whatever this bone does, that will follow, and whatever this does, this will follow, and whatever that does, it will affect the whole bone chain. So we're constantly linking things in a hierarchy, like to show you a proper hierarchy. Let's just go into this top view here just to show you the small box. Right, and make a daddy box. Okay, so let's say this is the parent. We want it to control the 3 children there. So let's link the first oldest child to the parent. Okay, so the oldest child follows the parent. Let's see these 2 younger ones, we want them to follow the, not the parent, but the next oldest child. So we have to link this to the next oldest child and this to the next one. This way we can offset this, 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 and this. And whenever we move the parent, all of them move. So we don't link them directly to the parent, because they'll only change when the parent changes. But because they're linked to the next one up, they change when the older brother or sister changes. In this case, the bigger box. That's basically how everything works here. This would be like your bones. This would be your IK chain. This would be your shape controlling IK chain. And then this would be the last link, if you like. Or this would be the spine bone. This would be the shape connected to the spine bone. This would be the IK connected to the shape. And this would be the bones connected to the IK. So if that complicates things, then so be it, but it's just a case of linking things to the main controller. That's the main controller, and the rest are controlling the smaller parts. Okay, so back to the rig solution here. So I'm going to move these, and because they're easier to see, it's easy to control what's going on here. I can create other controllers, like if I put a box around here, not so much a box, more like a rectangle is what I want. Right, let's just make sure that's in the center of the world there, bring it up to where these guys are. Okay, it looks like he's mixing discs, but if I now link, these 2 shapes to this, then link this to the control bone, the control bone will now control everything like normal, but this can also act as an offset. So you could have them cheering, yay, just by animating this one shape. You know, you could have one high, have one low, and cheer like that. I'll just show you what it looks like with a mesh on. You can see there's some bad twisting going on here. So it's a good time to like fix anything. It's just the way the bones are positioned or doing all that pulling and whatnot there, but I can easily go back to this and affect the, choose the bone, see if I can stop it doing that a bit. Yeah, just twist everything in. So you need to be wary how the bone's actually moving. And that's the thing the IK kind of does. So just undo that. I'm not going to be able to fix that. It's just some careless use of bones. And also, I could rotate this. I know if he's doing some kind of steering action. So all this is happening because they're all tied up to the IK, and the IK is tied up to these shapes, and these shapes are tied up to this shape. And just in case we want to move anything, this shape is tied up to one of his backbones. This one. So whatever it does, everything parented to this shape will follow that bone, because this shape is connected to this bone. These are connected to this, and the IK is connected to these shapes, as you've seen earlier in the video. Make sure you watch all this video and don't skip any parts. It's been a good idea, especially for the way this is made. I'm going to control the feet here. So again, I need IK to link. I can't just link the bone to this, that won't work. So let's see what kind of solver we can put this high solver to there. Yeah, that's pretty good. You don't really have to go to the end bone. I'll show you what the difference is. High solver to the end bone. That might be better actually. Let's see how it affects the mesh. And it just squeezes his foot a little bit. Not too sure if I need it. But you know, it's pretty good. Let's see how it compares. If I choose the IK on this one, there it is. Now I'm not too sure whether to leave it or not, so I'll just remove it and make it the same as the other one. High solver to this part. Okay. Now link the IK to, better make two other shapes actually. So I'll just copy these. They really have to do something about the selection tool. Every time I press Q it changes. I don't like that. I wish they could stop that from happening. Okay, just move it down a bit. Oops. Make a copy. Yeah, that's fine. Okay, choose the IK and just make sure I link it to the shape. And then link the shapes to the big shape. It's all about control. You want to link the smaller things to the bigger thing, usually, and the bigger thing will control the smaller things in retrospect. So let's see how that looks. You can see it's making his legs bend up to where his hips are. Oops. You really better to have auto key on when it gets to a certain point. It's all about creating shapes to help control the animation. Instead of trying to find the bones and stuff, you just find the shape. And because this is the end bone, it's not connected to anything, so it's quite good to use that instead of doing any IK on it. But you see it's completely disconnected, so take that back. We should do IK on it. So you learn by my mistake. Now one thing you see here is I'm rotating the foot controller, and it's not rotating the actual foot itself. So what you want to do is make sure that certain things are pointing a certain way. Like if I move this bone, that will affect the foot. So let's make this bone point at something that's then linked to this. So create a small sphere. Let's just move it to there. Right, let's create another one. That's fine. Let's choose this bone. And if you go to the little motion tab and open up assign controller, you want to affect the, I guess we want to affect the position of it. Let's see what's the options. It's rotating it's not going to do anything. So we want to affect the position to be the same as maybe the position of this. So position. Let's see. Let's try attachment. Pick object. This one. That's no good because it's totally distorted things. Position reaction. No, don't want that. We could try this bone here. Let's try affecting the position again, and that will be let's change that to rotation and have it doing a look at constraint. Have it looking at this. I think that's it. Although it's probably flipped around there. yeah, it's kind of twisted things a bit. Change the look at axis to Z. No, let's affect this. Flip. There we go. So it's now aligned to the look at. I think that's better. Yeah, that's better. Oops. Let's do the same with this one. So that'll be the rotation. Look at constraint. Add this object. And then just choose the look at. Right. Let's see if I've animated those by accident. Let's take their keyframes away. So now, when I rotate or move these, the foot stays pointing at this. Now I just want to link this to this, and this one to that one. That way everything's staying where it should be, apart from when it goes down too far. So let's link these to that. I guess you just need to be wary of where the limits are. But this way we can animate pretty much anything we need. Oh, this guy's a wee bit out of place. Okay, so he's not fully animatable, but he's somewhat animatable. And of course all the shapes we would put into another layer and hide them. The only bad thing is there's some twisting going on here, but it's just I never anticipated how he would move exactly, so you have to be wary of that. some pretty bad stretching as well. But yeah, that's the basis of how you would rig something up, and then you would just animate the shapes to get them doing what you want. Okay, hope you enjoyed that tutorial. Cheers.